BassResinator here. I am going to make some chocolate chips cookies using resin and computer chips. I'm going to be using Let's Resin pigment paste, and I'm going to be using the brown. And I'm thinking I will add a little bit of gold holographic glitter in with it. And then I'm going to be cutting these up. I'll show you how I'm going to try to do that without making too big of a mess. I'm going to put them in this mold though. So I'm going to pull this out of the way and go to work. Oh, dog here. Look at that. Crazy dog. Titan is sharing his fur. There, got it off. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to use some wire cutters, the heavy duty ones, not the little cheapo ones, or not the, they're not necessarily cheapo, but not the little tiny ones that come with, you know, it'd be nice if I just took that label off. Don't need labels. We don't need no stinking labels. Okay, I'll do that with all of them. Now, if you've never messed with computer chips, let me just explain. These are layers of plastic as a whole. I worked on a lady's computer. Their house got hit by lightning. This was quite a few years ago. And she said, it doesn't turn on. The computer doesn't turn on. And I said, did you have it on a surge suppressor or anything? Did you unplug it? No, we just got zapped. And I said, okay, well, let me look at it. And I had to, with my computer business, she could hire me to write up a report for their insurance so they could get some money to replace the parts. But all of their RAM, all of these individual modules had gotten so hot from the zap of electricity from that lightning strike that all of the layers in here, there's about 15 layers of plastic, very thin. It just looked like a flower. It went, well, let me get my hand back. It just went whoosh, and well, let me do it this way. It went whoosh. So it was these things down in the bottom, which this part plugs into the motherboard. It looked like a flower up on the top. It was really kind of cool looking, but it smelled horrendous. But they put these things together, and there's all kinds of little wires in here. So I'm not expecting this to be just a really easy cut in a little piece of plastic. So I'm going to exert quite a bit of force to try and cut this. And I'm getting nowhere with it. Okay, maybe I'll do. Okay, I got one part of it broken. Well, there we go. So I'm going to be doing that with all of them. I'm not going to show you any more because I may have flying chips. Chips ahoy! Yep, and there they went. Yep, okay, so I will come back to you shortly. Not shortly as in an electrical short, but shortly. Oh, I'm getting really kind of crazy here. Okay, here we go. I'm finishing up mixing the resin, which is Counterculture DIY Hardcast. I got some more resin coming in, but it's not here yet, and I don't trust that Resin Pro stuff that I had. It was just, I think I got sold a bill of goods. But I used this brown, and it looked like very not very good tasting chocolate. So it was way too light. So I added, this is 15.5 ounces of resin. I put in 3 big squirts of this. The first one just made it very pale and almost translucent, well, transparent even. Squirted in a bunch more and it made it more opaque, but it was still that yucky brown. Put in more and it sort of looked like milk chocolate, but not a healthy kind. Like maybe something that had been sitting on the shelf for a little bit too long. So I added in Let's Resin black resin dye. Added in 21 drops of that. And we have this color. So I'm letting it degas a bit. And as I talk through what I'm going to be doing. Okay, so I got these chips broken up. A couple I could not get the label off, so what I'm going to try and do is let them settle with the label up so that it'll be, you won't see it, it'll just be the other side. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the resin in here and let it sit for a little bit, go around with my silicone, trusty old silicone tool that has seen its better days. That silicone is kind of rough now. It doesn't bend it very much at all. So I'm going to go around and clean the edges with it. And then I'm going to put in these, at least one chip in each one. Some may only have one, some may have more. I couldn't put them in the full length because this is just a little bit too small. Well, I'll show you. Here's a full length one. And that one actually fits, but it's awfully tight. And I didn't want it to scratch the mold, so I'm not going to do that. So I cut them in half. And then I'm going to put the resin in, let it sit for a little bit, then drop in the chips, making sure if there's a label on it, the label is up. Because I'm pretty sure they're heavy enough they're going to sink all the way down to the bottom. That's what I'm hoping will happen. If not, then it's just going to be kind of an ugly brown hockey puck. But then I got this huge pack of glitters. I don't know if you can see it in there. No, it can't. It is 54 glitter jars from Arteza. And it's premium glitter. Some are holographic, some are oh my word, I just did that and I dumped a bunch of glitter. Oh no. There must have been some loose glitter in that box. Heavens to Murgatroyd even. Well, that's okay. Because that's what I'm going to do is after it sits for a while, is I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of the glitter into this. And I know the glitter will sink. That's what glitter, for some reason, that's what glitter does. But I think it's going to add a little bit of color to it. A little bit of sugar crystals, on top. And then we have the chips. So we got chocolate chip cookies with a little bit of extra sugar. Okay, there's some more bubbles have risen to the occasion. And so I shall start to decant. I'm going to put in a little bit first. Make sure I've got enough for all of them. I know I've got enough for all of them, but I'm not going to make them all real. I don't want them really deep. But I'm going to use up the resin. So I don't know if they're all going to be the same thickness or not. I'm going to try. That is my intention. My intention or my intention? Mr. Watkins, you're killing me here. Okay, that is about a 1/2 inch in each. A little bit more. A little bit more now. Okay, those are about even. Bring that up. These are going to be strictly conversation pieces. And if you want to say for fall, because it's chocolatey, if I put some gold in there, which I am going to have a little bit of that glitter, we could call it fall. Or you could just put them on a tray in the middle of the table and say, hey, we got some chocolate chips. Chocolate chip cookies. I'm eyeballing these, trying to make sure I get equal amounts. Sometimes you just got to have some fun. Boys just want to have fun. Oh, boys just want to have chocolate chips. I have a friend from college, one of the funniest guys, and he's just naturally funny. He didn't try to be. He just was. Okay, David Garrison, I'm throwing your name out there. I'm going to send you a link to this video, so you better watch it so you can find out. He could do an amazing impersonation of Richard Simmons. And we were in college in the early 80s. And Richard Simmons was in his heyday, and he was come out, and one of his famous sayings is, chocolate chips go to your hips. I can't do it real well. But David could sound just like him and just cracked us all up. I mean, we were... we had college skip day. I don't know if they have those types of things anymore. But the whole college, we all went down to the Dallas Zoo. We were going to school in Dallas, or on the north side of Dallas. Well, Dallas Zoo is on the south side. And at that time, the Dallas Zoo, I'm going around trying to get any bubbles out of, and there's some came up. Bubbles always try and hide in these corners. There's not really a corner, but that 90-degree angle, a circle can't have a corner, right? So they had these huge traffic pylons. They were about 4 feet tall and had a big enough top that he could jump up there and do a little dance. And he was doing a really good impersonation of Richard Simmons. And he closed his eyes and he's going, chocolate chips go to your hips. French fries go to your thighs. And he was just going back and he closed his eyes and he was doing this. And then we all left him because we were like, oh, that's just David. We were used to him. And a bus unloaded with a whole bunch of senior citizens, which I am now one. And he's up there running around and dancing and acting all crazy. And these people are getting off the bus looking at him like, what is this? And I got a little bit of resin on the tip of that. I got down too far, trying to get those bubbles to pop. And oh, that smells wonderful. Not some kind of wonderful. Anyway, he's up there with his eyes closed, dancing around. doing his Richard Simmons act, and he opens his eyes and notices we're all gone, and all these older people are getting off this bus. He looks and he goes, stays in character. I mean, he had to have been a thespian at heart. Oh, wrong crowd. And then he runs he runs across the parking lot. Hey, wait up, guys. And we're like, no, get away from us. Anyway, yeah, that was my chocolate chips go to your hips story. Good old David Garrison. That's not a bubble. That is actually, I know I have, well, I can't find it. I have a toothpick around here somewhere. That's one of Titan's hairs. Thank you, Titan, for sharing. Okay, so, yeah, craziness. David, thank you for the wonderful memories 40 some years ago. I'll never get that image out of my mind whenever I think of David. Okay, got the, just wondering what temperature this, $90. This resin cures up in about, with the temperature it is in our house, we keep it at 77. Our kids think we're nuts. It's too hot. It's not either. Anyway, I see another. Where was that? Right here. Yep, got him. With the temperature and the humidity that it's been raining the last couple of days here, which we have needed some. But I mean, we're getting some gully washers. Okay, now to drop in a chip. Hopefully it'll go down. And it did. Yay! Yay, 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 yay. Okay, that one's got a label on here, so I'm going to go drop it with the label up. Have no idea if these are going to be in the center. And I'm going at an angle like that, so hopefully if there's any bubbles trapped underneath, they will roll out as I let it roll into the resin. I've got 2 left. You know what? I'll just go in these last 2, and then I will try and move them around with that silicone tool so that they're not on top of each other, so that they can all be seen. Now, I'm sure David's story or interpretation of that story is totally different than all of the rest of us. But I'm standing by it, because that's what I saw. Good old David Armstrong. Not Armstrong. Garrison. Goodness. Armstrong, sorry about that. Don't want to throw you under the boat. It's not really throwing you under the boat. It's just funny stories from the past. But Armstrong never would have done that. Who knows if he will now. He's gotten crazy in his old age. We all have. Actually, he's gotten into community theater stuff, which I never would have thought of him doing that. And I think those bubbles are just going to keep coming up. So now I don't want to put too much. This is iridescent bronze, which it almost looks gold. And the lid has we can pour out of it, or you can the sprinkle. And I'm going to use the sprinkle side. So there we go. Just a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. The medicine go down. Medicine go down. Hopefully it'll make it all the way down. Don't know if it will or not, but that's what I'm trying. And then I'm going to be using this, of course, chocolate. So we did this crazy song, came out I don't know, about 10 or 12 years ago. And my kids enjoyed singing it for Christmas time. Hot, 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 hot chocolate. I can't get enough. Doom, doom, doom. And it had this real Latin jazz feel underneath it. So that was a lot of fun. They liked dancing around on stage to it. So okay, those glitters are back in the mother box. Not the mother load, the mother box. And now I got a mess to clean up over here where that glitter came out. Okay, clean up, everybody, everywhere. So I'm going to do a little quick swirl with that glitter. Maybe it'll start to sink a little bit. And if it doesn't, we'll have a pretty bottom. Oh, I forgot I got one other thing. Chocolate. If you really want chocolatey tasting chocolate, you must add, all you bakers out there, what's my go-to ingredient? I'll tell you as soon as I finish stirring these up. It's a real simple one. A lot of people don't think about it. But my wife and I have, the last couple of years, have started watching these cooking shows as if we're in a, she's a really good cook. I'm a good eater. But I learned this on those cooking shows. Coffee. So I know these are not going to sink, but if you want to make chocolate chocolatier, put in some coffee. Not like this. You actually make some coffee and then mix it into the batch. But you know, if some of these sink down there, they would actually look like a real chocolate chip. If they don't, they don't. But I had these coffee beans for another thing that I was doing a while back. Oh, if any of you saw it, my coffee turtle and my coffee frog, my frogacino and my turtle latte. If you didn't see it, you ought to go back and check them out. Rather humorous. Okay, that's enough coffee. And now we just wait. I'll clean up the rest of my mess and I'll see you tomorrow. This is 8 p.m. This is not going to be cured up before tomorrow morning. Before tonight, before I go to bed. So I will see you on the other side of the clock. after it tips over to the other side of midnight. And in the morning, hopefully I'll get to it in the morning. My wife and I are going to a thing at church early in the morning this week, and may get to it around noon if I don't get to it on my lunch break. So, see you then. These are cured up. I think I'm gonna. Oh, good! I can see the chips all sank all the way down, which is good. And the glitter sank down like I thought it would. Yay! Chocolate chips. But the coffee stayed up. That's okay. It gave a flavoring. A smattering of flavor to the chocolate. Yeah. Cool. May have to set these on a plate. Decorate the kitchen table. Yeah. So yeah, let me get a couple stills of these. I eyeballed it pretty good. This one is a little bit higher than the others, but the others are all relatively the same. Coffee on the bottom. Cool. Well, thank you, subscribers. Thank you for hanging out with me and coming back and supporting my efforts. If you're not a subscriber, you should be. Sign up. It's free. Can't get a better deal than that. Okay. I will let you go about the rest of your day. Have an awesome one. Thank you for watching this video.